Imagine a quiet spring night in 1781. The alleys of Bath, England lay silent, with only the occasional clink of horse hooves on bluestone pavement. In a humble backyard stood a middle-aged man, William Herschel. Holding his breath, he pressed his eye to a huge, self-made metal telescope tube. In that instant, he caught a faint glimmer of light never before marked on any star chart. Tonight, by the soft glow of the fireplace, let us walk gently into his life. He was no heir to a noble scientific family, just a German immigrant who earned his living playing in orchestras and teaching music to wealthy young ladies. Yet those hands accustomed to dancing across piano keys spent countless quiet nights polishing hundreds of lens pieces. He not only discovered Uranus among the stars but also carved a staircase for humanity to journey deep into the cosmos from the depths of solitude. William Herschel's turning point came from an almost obsessive pursuit of perfection. Back then, he was Bath's most beloved organist and conductor, performing Mozart and Handel in grand churches with a stable, respectable life. Still, beautiful musical notes could never fill the emptiness in his heart. It was not until he read a book on astronomy that he realized the starry sky was the grandest symphony of all. Telescopes of the era were costly and imprecise. To a perfectionist musician, blurry celestial images were nothing less than unbearable noise. So he made a decision all his friends thought insane: he would build one himself. He set up a furnace in his dining room and spread pitch for lens polishing across his parlor. Time once spent conducting orchestras was now devoted to heavy, sticky metal and glass. His once nimble pianist's hands grew rough and calloused from endless manual labor. Yet in the monotonous rhythm of polishing, he found an unprecedented peace of soul. He was not merely grinding glass. He was clearing his vision, striving to pierce the mist that separated humanity from universal truth. He was never alone in this long, often tedious journey. His sister Caroline became the most important companion of his destiny. A slender, introverted young woman burdened with endless household chores, Caroline was brought to England by William, not just to care for daily life, but because he saw in her the same gift for precise astronomical observation. On bitter winter nights, when the cold of Bath threatened to freeze ink solid, William stood high on a windy wooden scaffold, gazing intently through his telescope. He called out celestial coordinates aloud, while Caroline sat in the shadows, her hands numb and purple from the cold, swiftly jotting down every data point. A wordless tacit understanding bound them. When William grew discouraged by failed lens attempts, Caroline quietly cleaned up and prepared new materials. When Caroline wearied from grueling work, William soothed her with his warm baritone voice, telling her secrets from light years away. This quiet mutual support turned their research from cold scientific work into a shared journey of kinship and idealism. They were siblings reaching for an exit among the stars, awake while the whole world slumbered. The discovery on March 13, 1781, shattered their peaceful days forever. Searching for binary stars, William stumbled upon a slow-moving hazy glow. At first, the modest musician took it for a comet. But deeper calculations revealed an astonishing truth: it was the seventh planet of the solar system. For millennia, humanity believed Saturn marked the edge of the universe, and William Herschel doubled the known boundaries of the cosmos overnight. The discovery catapulted him from an ordinary musician to King George III's personal astronomer. Yet fame was not an end, but a new kind of confinement. He was forced to move closer to Windsor Castle, endlessly attending royal audiences and curious visitors. He grew increasingly famous, yet longed more and more for his simple, quiet backyard in Bath. The glamour of royalty could never comfort a man accustomed to observing in darkness. He still stood before his 40-foot giant telescope every cloudless night. He began to understand he was seeing far more than planets. He was seeing time itself. He realized the Milky Way was a vast lens-shaped cluster of stars, with humanity no more than a tiny speck within it. This grand sense of cosmic insignificance brought no fear, only a profound, almost reverent awe for every lens he polished and every quiet night he spent watching the sky. In his later years, William Herschel retained the rhythmic sensibility honed by a lifetime of music. Even as his hearing faded and his eyesight dimmed, he walked to his telescope each day with Caroline's help. He pondered the nature of light and even predicted the existence of infrared rays. He understood that when we gaze at the stars, we are only seeing phantoms of the past. Starlight travels thousands upon thousands of years before reaching our eyes. This insight into time calmed his soul completely. He no longer clung to the fame of his youth nor grieved for his fading strength. He had completed his ultimate transformation from musician to cosmic observer. In a letter to a friend, he wrote, "I have wandered among this galaxy for so long that death no longer feels strange, it is merely a return to a deeper tranquility." He stepped back gracefully from the noise of his era, passing the torch to Caroline and his son John, retreating slowly into the shadows he had watched over all his life. His life unfolded like a long, gentle adagio, no dramatic climax in its final movement, only soft, heartfelt closure. He taught humanity how to look up at the stars, and how to find one's own rhythm in vast loneliness. William Herschel's story has come to an end. Yet on every clear night, as we gaze up at the deep indigo sky, we can still almost see his figure polishing lenses in the quiet dark. With the touch of his hands, he gifted humanity a new understanding of the universe. He proved that one's birth can never define one's destiny. He answered the suspense of the prologue. Why would a musician reach for the stars? Because the universe itself is an eternal melody. Caroline would later become the first female astronomer recognized by the royal court. Their legacy is not merely the cold planet Uranus, but a way of life, to stay pure in a noisy world, to chase starlight in silent darkness. Breathe in the tranquility spanning 200 years. The night outside is deep, the stars shining bright just as William once saw them. Under this vast sky, let go of all weariness and close your eyes slowly. May your dreams be filled with twinkling stars. Good night.